Today we'll be discussing the existence of climate change and the negative aspects associated with climate change. But first, close your eyes and imagine the world in a new light. Coastal cities are flooded, sea levels have risen across the globe, and the polar ice caps are no more, leading to millions of people being displaced and millions of people's lives being forever changed, all sparked from human industrialization. This is likely to become our future if we do not change our ways with climate change. And the first issue with climate change is people not believing in it or not believing that humans were the cause of it. However, this is far from the truth and must be changed in order for us to start moving forward with trying to stop climate change. The first proof of climate change would be to look at how humans have added to the greenhouse effect. This is explained by NASA's Global Climate Change page, which says, quote, "Scientists attribute the global warming trend observed since the mid-20th century to human expansion of the greenhouse effect, which is warming that results from the atmosphere trapping heat. Humans adding to the greenhouse effect was caused by industrialization, and in industrialization, humans started burning fossil fuels for energy. When you burn a fossil fuel, greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide are put into the atmosphere, which adds to the greenhouse effect. It is important to note, though, industrialization is a human concept, and only humans have done it. The second proof of climate change would be looking at the empirical data behind this increase in greenhouse gases in the atmosphere since industrialization. And again, this is coming from NASA, saying, quote, "Industrial activities that our modern civilizations depend on have raised atmospheric CO2 levels from 280 parts per million to 412 parts per million in the last 150 years. 95% probability that it is human caused." Again, industrialization was sparked from the burning of fossil fuels for energy. And when you burn fossil fuels, CO2 is put off. And CO2 is the most abundant greenhouse gas in the atmosphere, which is from humans. And this increase in greenhouse gases will increase global temperatures now and in the near future because of the trapping of the heat. So the second issue with climate change would be the negative effects that are going to become with this increase in temperatures. So the first effect from climate change would be the polar ice caps melting, which will raise the sea level, the sea levels will rise. Excuse me. This is coming from Leslie Bayer from Business Insider saying, quote, "Assuming a rise of 0.5 meters by 2070 with an extra 0.5 to 1.5 meters to account for storms, Miami is at big trouble with 4.8 million people and $3.5 trillion in damage." So what this quote is explaining is, since sea levels will rise with an increase in global temperatures, which will melt ice and the polar ice caps, millions of people will be displaced because their homes will be flooded, and this will also cause trillions of dollars in damage. Furthermore, not only will sea levels rise, but erratic weather will also rise, such as hurricanes. This is again explained by Bayer, in which, quote, "An 11% increase in hurricane intensity as well as about 20% rain increase will be caused in the near future." And this is explained by, again, warmer global temperatures, which will warm the waters of the oceans. And hurricanes feed off of warmer water to develop and to become stronger. So, in the near future, with the increased temperature, we'll see more and more powerful and more hurricanes in general. So the first solution would be to, for people that deny climate change, would to explain the science behind it and educate them about climate change. Because if we educate these people, they may actually start believing in climate change and want to better the globe by ending climate change in general. Furthermore, the overall solution to climate change overall would be to eliminate the main contributor to climate change, would be to stop the burning of fossil fuels, or at least limit it. And this is explained by David Bielio, an editor for Scientific America, which says, quote, eliminating the burning of coal, oil, and natural gas, coal, the substrate, supplying roughly half of the electric used in the U.S. So what this quote is explaining is that humans need to focus on eliminating burning of fossil fuels for energy production, and rather switch to a renewable source such as solar, wind, or hydro for their energy production, rather than burning fossil fuels. Imagine a world in which electric cars have zero emissions and the production of energy is solely renewable. Well, this will have to become a future for us in order to stop climate change. Eliminating fossil fuels will be the main step towards eliminating climate change and stopping the harmful effects of climate change overall. So what should you do? What should we all do? First, we must educate others about climate change in order to stop the ignorance associated with it. Just because you don't believe it's not happening doesn't mean it's not happening. And if we get these people to believe that climate change is real through education, they may want to change the way energy production is made and how climate change is happening. Second, we must change our daily habits, such as decreasing the amount of energy we're using, and overall consuming less too would help, because that would lessen the amount of energy used to make things. And also, spread the word to other people about climate change. The more voices behind a movement, the more likely something's going to happen behind it. And here are the references.